It's September 1st. It's MLB playoff season, and we just hit 750 subs. Let's go. In my next video, the power rankings, what you're going to do to have a chance to win. So make sure you check that out. That's going to be how you have a chance to win. But in this video, I want to look at the playoff standings and see how this season is kind of shaping up, giving away some of my opinions here with 1 month left in the season. And yeah, let's jump into it right here. With the American League East up top, we have Baltimore. They've had a spectacular season, but right now, the Tampa Bay Rays, who, if you follow power rankings, they were number one for at least 2 months, I think. And they've been on quite a tear the past 30 games or so, especially on this 4-game winning streak right now, keeping it super tight. Baltimore still playing 600 baseball. But when teams are going on streaks, they're going to make up games, and they're 1.5 games back. I think it's a 2-team race, obviously, going into the season. Jays are 10.5 back. They're more concerned about a wild card. Clearly, that's their only path into the playoffs. I don't think we're going to see another Boston, New York Yankees situation over here. So, out of those two teams, I'm still leaning Baltimore is going to be able to hold it down. As we go along here in a couple videos, maybe I'll start looking at schedules a little closer, and that might waive my opinion. Clearly, the numbers are probably going to be in Tampa Bay's favor. AL Central is not honestly much to talk about with Minnesota 515. They got 5 games ahead. I guess you can talk about how Cleveland just basically drafted the LA Angels one expiring contract guys. Like, they got Giolito, they got Lopez. It's almost like it's a setup to make it a little more interesting here in this Central Division. 5 games back, not impossible considering Minnesota's been playing 500 baseball. We see them below 500 a couple times this season. Cleveland has been in the driver's seat at least for a few days on the year. Wild. It's even wild to see 9 games back and they're 3-7 in the last 10. It's not outside the realm of possibilities. Keep an eye on Detroit. Get to the AL West. This is shaped up to be one of the best divisions to watch all season. LA Angels made a threat of it for a long time, but now it's definitely turned into an SHT battle. Seattle and Houston are tied right now. In Texas, 1 game back. Just 2 weeks ago, I had predicted Texas going to the World Series. So this is putting a little bit of trouble into that situation. If you put out your predictions with me there, I'm sure something's gone awry in that. So I'm not too worried about it. Like, sports, impossible to predict. That's why they build $1 million industries off the gambling industry. I guess at this point I got to pick a team. Got to go with the hottest, Seattle. They're just so hot. They got to keep rolling. NL East, Atlanta beat Dodgers last night 8-7. What a wild game. Acuna playing amazing baseball. The debate for 1 and 2 on the power rankings, those two teams, that's really all it comes down to me. And Philadelphia 14 games back, but in a battle. We'll look at the wild cards after. Milwaukee, Chicago, Cincinnati. These 3 teams are still in it here. I have Milwaukee taking the division. Cubs not out of it though. Like, of course, 3 games back. They're playing each other this week. A lot can happen, right? And Cincinnati 6 games back. We've seen them scorch. We've seen them at the top of this division, but that might have just been a little bit of scheduling in their favor. Well, probably a lot of bit of it. But yeah, they went through the AL East recently, and they're starting to get some tests, and they're not quite up to a 500 club, Minnesota level club. If they're in that Central on the other side, they're leading the division basically. So got that. And then we get into the West, 13.5 games back now, so not quite as much as the Phillies are behind Atlanta, but the Giants, they just got a wild card. So we might as well jump into the wild cards because those ones aren't so interesting to talk about, I guess. Wild card, we start looking at Tampa Bay clearly going to make the playoffs. They're just battling for division. And then we got the West. So you can kind of assume Seattle is down here as well in this race. They're basically Houston because they have the same record. Toronto, 2.5 games out. They have a key series middle of September, where they're going to be playing for this kind of gap. It's going to be super important. I'm going to be at that game. Yeah, let's go. 6.5 games out. Not unbelievable. Not unbelievable. Boston could go on a tear, but they're going on a tear the other direction. Lost 4 in a row. And then Cleveland, I just want to give them some credit here. 11.5, so they have a much easier chance to win that division than to catch these 564 clubs. Minnesota being 500, Minnesota would be right here in terms of the standings. Going over to the West, I think, in my opinion, these 5 teams down to the Cubs are guaranteed, and I think Miami, Cincinnati, Arizona, San Francisco are battling for that last spot. Of course, the Cubs are only 1.5 games up. Bad news can happen. I just think by far they're the best team of these 5. So they should play it out a lot better. If you look at expectations here, they're a little bit below that. They haven't been super great at home. That can change, I think. I think it's just was a slow start for the Cubs, whereas some of these other teams had really hot starts and the Cubs had still passed them. So I want to keep that in consideration. Out of these 4 teams, I still think San Francisco is going to take that last spot. Arizona just does not have the depth to compete. Cincinnati is just a little too early. In Miami, I don't think they're ready yet either. They've come back down to earth, guys. And there you have it. That's kind of my opinion, how I see the playoffs shaping up. Looking at the races here going into September. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And make sure you're looking out for the Power Rankings on Sunday. It's going to be where I talk about how you can win a hat. So see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Peace out.